Now at 11, gone in an instant. Hear from one woman who lost it all in a wildfire still spreading in the gorge. Plus,
I just remember the plane going like sideways like that and just looking straight out the window and just seeing grass.
what forced a Delta pilot to make an aggressive maneuver with dozens of passengers on board. And later,
it never felt right not being home.
a homecoming for Damian Lillard. He reveals the reasons behind his return to Rip City. We begin tonight in the Columbia River Gorge. That's where a wildfire has destroyed homes and now spread across more than 10,000 acres. Thanks for joining us. I'm Catherine Cook. In tonight for David. The Burdoyne fire is burning east of White Salmon, with the perimeter stretching from Bingen to northeast of the town of Lisle. Evacuation orders are still in place as some learned they've lost everything to the flames. Alma McCarty talked with people at the evacuation shelter tonight and joins us live east of Mosier. Alma.
Yeah, Catherine, we picked this spot in particular because earlier this evening we were able to see lots of smoke, plumes of it coming from the other side of the Columbia. However, it's dark out now. You can't really see much, and you can't really see any of those hot spots that we certainly saw just a couple of days ago. But this fire is still actively burning at this point, nearly 11,000 acres in Klickitat County. As the Burdoyne fire still burns in the hills.
And the smoke was the black smoke, a big wall of it. I couldn't see, I had to turn around.
79-year-old Audrey Bruce recalls what she lost.
I'm just sick. All I think about is my little dog. When I see them photos, I just think of my little dog. And Tommy and Annie, they both died. They went up and they found them in the house. Where the house was. They were laying side by side.
Her dogs, her home, and her garden gone in mere moments.
I worked out of there all my life.
The fire, 0% contained and cause undetermined, drew more than 400 fire crews here to suppress and contain it.
It's just grown tremendously in terms of, initially 2 acres, 1,500 acres, and then it just tripled and doubled in size.
Living near the top of Burdoyne Mountain and in the middle of the evacuation zone, Ken Blue packed up his SUV.
Took all of the windsurfing equipment out of it, because that stuff could be replaced, and scrambled, was literally running through the house, collecting all the pictures from the house and the garage.
He'll spend the night here at the Red Cross shelter at Grace Baptist Church in White Salmon, hoping, like many, to return home soon.
Kids have grown up here and so many memories. I'm just hoping that the firefighters get the upper hand on it.
We're still at risk. The winds are still here. It's going to get drier this week.
White Salmon resident and volunteer Emma Pfister says the Gorge community has and will continue to step up, aiding fire victims however they can.
It's a beautiful thing to see in a really dark moment, but this community is very strong and will be bounced back soon.
Now, the fire officials have reported that the wetter weather and the cooler weather certainly moderated fire behavior today, but they do say it is still actively burning, especially in the underbrush or the areas that the rain was unable to get to. Catherine, back to you.
Alma McCarty in the Gorge Forest tonight. Thank you, Alma. And tracking wind conditions tonight, where the Burdoyne wildfire is burning, Chief Meteorologist Matt Zaffino is here with a first look at your weather impact forecast. Matt.
Hey, Catherine, yes, this is what it looked like last night. It's just an amazing scene there, Burdoyne Mountain Fire. We got decent rain, though. Portland had about 1/3 of an inch. We had lesser amounts in the Gorge, but some pretty good amounts in eastern Oregon, so certainly helping the fire situation around the northwest. The winds right now in Lisle, they're light. They're out of the west at 6 miles an hour. This location, the east side of the Hood River Valley, is always super windy, but you can see in Hood River and Underwood it's calm, and it's light in Rowena as well. So the winds are doing what we expected and doing us the favor of settling down during the overnight hours, which is really, really good. In fact, our model shows that happening all throughout the state. Winds going really light in the early morning hours. They will pick up with the heating of the day, especially in the eastern gorge, so a little problematic there, but the gusts only about, say, 20 maybe 23 miles an hour, not 35 to 40 miles an hour like we've seen in recent weeks. And in fact, if you look at the hour-by-hour wind forecast for Lyle for the overnight hours to 6 a.m., it is basically flat. So hopefully crews, if they're working the overnight, can make some headway as the weather conditions are improving and staying good with the low winds, cooler temperatures, and higher humidity overnight. Showers are now confined to just Malheur County. We had thunderstorms down there during the day today, but they have ended. So the forecast for the Burdoin fire and really all the fires in eastern Oregon, winds easing tonight, maybe a shower in the morning, but that's looking less likely. Winds not too bad, 5 to 15, but for the rest of the week, it's going to be sunny. It'll be getting warmer, and we'll see those afternoon breezes kick up each day. Catherine.
Thanks, Matt. Meanwhile, crews have made significant progress on the Cram fire burning in central Oregon. This is new video of crews from Clackamas County who are doing work on the fire's edge to prevent flare-ups. Containment is up to 73%, and the threat to buildings has dropped significantly. Evacuation levels have been lowered in parts of Jefferson, Wasco, and Crook counties as well. The fire has burned about 95,000 acres. It's the largest wildfire in the U.S. so far this year. Developing tonight, Oregon State Police are looking into the circumstances around the death of a man who died in Columbia County when his car crashed and a deputy shot him. On Sunday, authorities say 47-year-old Kyle Graham led deputies on a chase near Deer Island and Highway 30, then crashed off an embankment. OSP says Graham was armed after the crash when a Columbia County deputy opened fire. That deputy is now on leave. Authorities did not say whether Graham fired his gun. It's also unclear why deputies were chasing Graham, but they say he led police on a different chase the day before and got away. Now to an update in an excessive force case in Clackamas County. It goes back to video recorded in the Clackamas County jail and a warning, it can be difficult to watch. A new federal lawsuit claims jail deputies used excessive force against Antoine Williams, an inmate with an intellectual disability. The video was captured back in July of 2023. It shows Deputy Gina Marie Fisher entering Williams' cell. After an exchange, Williams is seen throwing a shirt and then a jail smock. That's when Fisher punches Williams 7 times in the head and face while another deputy restrains him. Fisher was later sentenced to a year of probation and community service. She also relinquished her certification as a jail deputy. The sheriff's office fired Fisher in February. Williams' mom called it a slap on the wrist.
I'm devastated, guys. I really am. It's not fair for anybody to be abused in the system, period. Whether you go to jail, you don't go to jail, you know, just, they teach you this in preschool. Keep your hands to yourself, you know. You don't have to abuse somebody if you want them to calm down.
The lawsuit seeks unspecified damages and could take years to resolve. To get you caught up now on tonight's other headlines, a second body has been recovered in Deschutes County after 6 people went over Dillon Falls west of Bend while tubing this weekend. 3 people were rescued and taken to the hospital. 2 others died, and crews are still looking for the 6th person. There are signs posted warning people floating on the river to get out before the drop. The man charged with stabbing multiple people at the Union Gospel Mission in Salem last month was back in court today. The attorney for Tony Williams filed a motion arguing Williams is not fit to proceed and should be taken to the Oregon State Hospital. A few days ago, a doctor did a psychological evaluation and told the court she believes Williams needs 3 to 6 months of treatment at the state hospital. No decision was made today. The stabbing happened June 1st at the men's shelter and left 12 people hurt. Williams remains in custody without bail. Portland police arrested a 17-year-old they say stole a car and rammed patrol cars. Police got a report of a theft near North Minnesota Avenue and Alberta Street Sunday morning. Officers tracked down the car and blocked it in, but say the suspect repeatedly rammed their patrol cars while trying to get away. Eventually, police arrested the suspect and later found a gun inside the car. And Portland police arrested a man after an hours-long standoff at a Southeast Portland Target store. It started around 10:30 this morning when police say the man threatened a security guard with a knife and hatchet, then ran inside the Mall 205 Target. Police got customers out and later found the suspect hiding on a second-story shelf in a storage area. Crisis negotiators talked with him for more than 5 hours before he finally dropped the knife and surrendered.
It just feels like the perfect situation at the perfect time.
Damian Lillard has returned to Portland. Today we heard from the All-Star point guard for the first time since he signed his new deal with the Trailblazers. And Lillard made it clear he came back for both professional and personal reasons. Holding up the letter O, Damian Lillard smiled before a packed press room, a Portland Trailblazer once again.
You know, it means a lot to me to not only play for this organization again, I never wanted to not be playing for this organization, but to be back in this community.
Lillard said his return to Portland feels like the perfect situation at the perfect time. Last month, the Milwaukee Bucks waived Lillard after he suffered a torn Achilles tendon during the playoffs. He'll spend the first of his 3-year, $42 million contract with Portland in rehab, but that's just on paper.
I told him that this year he's going to be the highest paid assistant coach in league history.
Even while he was with the Bucks, Lillard says he paid close attention to the Blazers, often pondering how he'd fit into the roster. He says he never counted Portland out, even if others did.
Maybe because it's Portland, people may not be willing to say it, but you know, it's all there. You know, from the talent to the depth to having it on both sides of the ball, it's all there.
Just really thankful to Dame for trusting in us, for believing in us, and for coming back.
Lillard says the move was also for his family, especially his 3 young kids. They were by his side Saturday when he signed his contract. He waited until that moment to tell them the news.
Turned around and my daughter was looking at me and I told her and she was like, wait, so like we don't have to get on the airplane to Milwaukee no more? I was like, yeah, like y'all don't gotta get on the plane no more. And she was like, so you're gonna be at your house in Portland the whole time? I was like, yeah.
Great day in Portland. Lillard said rehabbing a torn Achilles is a slow process and he plans to take his time and check all the boxes. But when he does return, he says he's confident he'll be true to form.
Sabrina Ionescu, the three-point queen.
And she's done it again. University of Oregon legend Sabrina Ionescu won the WNBA's three-point contest for the second time. The New York Liberty star is only the second player ever to win it twice. Ionescu got hot in the final round, knocking down 11 three-pointers in a row at one point. She finished with 30 out of 40 possible points and described the performance as, quote, not too bad.